a parallel to the book of Job, and they get everything back times thousands when they screw the brothers over, and so they get their just desserts. But in the book of Job, God doesn't get his just desserts for
He
being
never does
no. In fact, he
in the whole
slaps
Bible.
Job down and says, "Who are you to question me, the Almighty?" And Job finally has to repent, and this is the crazy thing. I repent and cover my mouth and repent in dust and ashes, and that's when he gets everything back. So it's a really
So he had to
messed up
repent for
theology.
nothing.
Yeah,
Or
questioning
he
God,
had
I
to
guess,
repent for questioning.
for
Yeah.
having the temerity
So
to question God.
so that's the message. Don't question.
I guess,
Just
yeah. There's some
yeah.
strange messages in the book of Job, and Jewish scholars, Christian scholars have been working out the meaning of the book of Job forever, but nobody wants to just admit, actually, the God of the Bible is horrible, which is
Yeah.
essentially why I became a non-Christian. In the end, when I did my dissertation on the book of Ezekiel, that's another book where you have a prophet in Babylon. He's in exile with these fellow exiles in Babylon, and he does everything by the book. He does exactly what God tells him to do to try to get through to his fellow exiles the message of God. And yet, at one point in the book, God comes to Ezekiel and says, "Ezekiel, tomorrow I'm going to kill your wife." This is really fucked up. And he says, "You're not going to be allowed to mourn for her because this is an object lesson to your fellow exiles. I'm trying to get through to them. So you're not allowed to cry or weep or wail for your wife that I'm going to kill." And God does. The next day, his wife's dead, and Ezekiel doesn't mourn for her. And his exiled friends come up and say, "What the hell, Ezekiel? How come you're not mourning?" And here's his chance to, preach a sermon to him and say, "Well, this is an object lesson of what God's going to do to you." And I thought, when I did that study on the book of Ezekiel, I thought, whoa, I cannot in good conscience serve that God who would do such
What
a
was
thing.
God's reason? Did he give a reason? I don't know that book at all.
Yeah, well, that was his reason.